All right, everyone, let's get started. Well, okay, so the main takeaways from today's session will be what microsync royalties are, who collects and pays out those royalties. You will get a better understanding about YouTube's content ID and the requirements that YouTube has placed for monetization. We will also discuss how you can make the most out of your YouTube account. And then you will be able at the end to see a first-hand look at what the YouTube monitor looks like on our platform and how to use it. Before we get into the details, let's do another poll that will also pop up in the chat box. Who here has their own YouTube channel? Okay. Just a quick reminder that music publishing in its purest form refers to the money that you make as a copyright holder of the music that you write. And that money that you do earn are called royalties. So how you fit into that world as a rights owner starts when you finish a song and that song is in a tangible form. So this could be written lyrics, it could be a demo, and once that's done, you own the copyright and you are the publisher. You're automatically owning the copyright whether you go to the copyright office or not. The rights that you get as the owner of the copyright are the right to reproduce the work, distribute copies of the work, perform the work publicly, make a derivative work, and to display the work publicly. And the royalties that are generated from those uses are mechanical royalties, performance royalties, and microsync royalties. Okay, so this is the diagram that you may have seen in the previous sessions that breaks down the two separate sides of every song that's created. So on the left side, we have the composition, which, like I said, is the original lyrics and melody, possibly a demo of your song. And these royalties are only collected by publishers. That composition is broken down into performance and mechanical royalties. Performance royalties, which are further broken down into the writer share and the publisher share. The mechanical royalties are only paid out to publishers. And you'll see that those two filled in red circles, those are the areas that Songtrust helps writers collect on. Usually just an individual writer would not have access to their publisher share, but by working with a publisher and administrator like Songtrust, you're able to access those. And then we have the other side of the song, which is the master recording, and these are collected by distributors and labels, and those are broken down into neighboring rights and master recording royalties. It gets kind of confusing because a lot of times distributors consider their royalties that they're paying out also to be mechanical royalties. Just a reminder that those are completely separate than the mechanical royalties that are generated from your composition. So just being with your distributor and collecting those mechanicals is not enough. So getting a little further into the different types of royalties, performance royalties are generated when your song is publicly performed. This could be a live performance that you do like on tour, even at a restaurant, bar, cafe. They're also generated from streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music, and also interactive radio, so only paid Pandora accounts. For mechanical royalties, these are generated when your song is digitally streamed or physically reproduced. So physically reproduced like a CD, a vinyl, or a digital download like from iTunes, or streamed on the same streaming services that I mentioned before. And it's really important to realize that one stream will be generating both a performance and mechanical royalty. Lastly, which will be the focus of our session today, we have the microsync royalties. And microsync royalties actually refer to the use of royalties from the use of your music in videos, such as YouTube videos. But microsync is more of a right type, like a license, rather than a royalty type. Microsync uses can generate both performance and mechanical royalties, just like streams. And the royalties that are generated from these microsync uses are called micro-sync royalties. Before Julia gets really deep into what micro-sync royalties are, let's do another quick poll. Are you currently using a third-party YouTube monetization service? And if you are, which one?
All right, so let's talk a little bit more in depth about microsync. You might be familiar with sync licensing in general, and that refers to when a piece of music is synchronized with a moving image. So, typically a licensee would reach out to the rights holders on the master side and the composition side, negotiate a fee, and pay it to them for the use of a song in, let's say, a television show or a movie trailer or an advertisement. So microsync refers to the same kind of use, music plus a moving image, but more on a bulk scale. So, for example, YouTube is a great example of this. YouTube has licenses with rights holders on both the master side and the composition side to allow anyone to upload content to YouTube using the music that those rights holders control, and then the rights holders are able to monetize any use of their music on the platform. So instead of every single person uploading a video to YouTube getting a sync license for that one video, YouTube allows rights holders to monetize on the platform as a whole. And so this bottom diagram here kind of shows the process. Anytime a video is uploaded to YouTube, the videos can be monetized by the rights holders of any content in those videos and monetize that to collect the royalties generated. So to break it down a little more on how a video is monetized on YouTube, there are 3 different components to a video that can be monetized. There's the visual, the audio, and the composition. So the visual part, the video itself, is typically owned either by the person who uploaded the video or maybe by a label if it's a music video, an official music video. The audio portion, that's the master recording that we talked about earlier, that's typically owned or controlled by a label or by a distributor. And the last component is the composition, which is owned by you as a songwriter and then controlled on YouTube's platform by your publisher or whatever third-party service or distributor you're using to monetize your composition on YouTube. And like Noelle mentioned earlier, the royalties that are allotted to the composition are split into performance and mechanical royalties. Performance royalties are collected by your PRO, your performing rights organization, and then paid out to your publisher on your behalf. And mechanical royalties on YouTube are collected directly by publishers like Songtrust who have direct licenses and direct agreements with YouTube to allow them to collect those royalties directly.
I think a lot of people that use our platform are DIY artists. So I think a good question to ask now is, as a DIY artist, how would I be able to collect on all of these different revenue streams that are coming from one video?
Sure. So if you are the uploader, if you're uploading your own videos to your own YouTube channel, we'll talk a little bit more about the monetization thresholds in a bit, but if you are able to monetize your own channel, you can monetize that through YouTube directly, and you'll be monetizing all 3 components of your YouTube videos, assuming that you own all 3 components. But another way to monetize your videos on YouTube that use your content is to, 1, have a distributor who is delivering your content to YouTube. So if you distribute through, let's say, CD Baby, CD Baby can deliver your master recordings to YouTube with the audio files, which will be scanned against all of the videos uploaded to YouTube, and will place matches on any videos that have a matching sound recording. And then using a publisher like Songtrust to deliver metadata on the composition side and collect your royalties generated from any video that uses your composition on YouTube.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, so YouTube is a pretty complex ecosystem. It's pretty different from any other streaming service or digital service provider that uses music, but I'll try and explain it as simply as possible. Videos on YouTube are monetized via YouTube's content management system, or CMS. And you may have heard of YouTube's Content ID before. So what I was talking about earlier with distributors and publishers delivering content to YouTube to match videos that are uploaded and then be able to monetize those videos, that all happens through Content ID. So that allows copyright owners to identify content that they own and then manage it on YouTube's platform. So they deliver assets to the platform that represents their ownership of any content that they control. And those content owners can claim any user-generated content on YouTube that uses content that they control. So we also refer to user-generated content as UGC. So let's say a publisher delivers their catalog to YouTube with all of the metadata, the portions and writers of the songs that they control. They can find any videos on YouTube that is using their content and then make a claim on those videos. And they can decide what they want to do with that claim. There are a lot of different policies in YouTube's content management system, but I think the most popular one is to monetize. And so what that means is that an ad is placed on that video, and then that ad revenue is turned into royalties for the content owners. And so here you'll see some of the thresholds for monetization. So earlier this year, YouTube put some of these thresholds into place. So now, in order for any video on YouTube's platform to be monetized, the channel that it's on has to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months. Otherwise, a video is not going to be monetized until it reaches both of those thresholds. Now, on channels that do not meet either of those requirements, if a video does reach 10,000 views, that video is manually reviewed by YouTube to decide whether it will be eligible for monetization. So it is possible that videos with a lot of views but not a lot of subscribers on the channel can be monetized.
So Julia, without monetization, does Songtrust even earn royalties?
So without an ad served on a video, if a publisher or a label is not claiming a video and placing an advertisement on it, a video is not monetized on YouTube. So if you're watching YouTube videos and there's no ad served before the video, underneath the video, beside the video, that video is not being monetized. There are no royalties being generated or collected.
So we have come up with a few tips and tricks so that you can make the most out of your YouTube account and reach those requirements that Julia just spoke about for monetization. First, we have to create playlists for all the different versions of your songs. So this could be acoustic versions, remixes, some live shows, and this way people will be able to easily navigate your channel and get involved. You can collaborate with other YouTubers and possibly co-writers of your song so that you could utilize their subscribers as well. Building out a following is also really important just for all of your social media, but it also is a great idea to promote your YouTube channel on your other social media sites so that everything can come full circle and you could get the most views possible. Any content that uses your music, as Julia mentioned, is able to be monetized as long as it reaches those requirements. So it's just important to realize that your publisher can not only monetize your channel, but any videos that are using your music. And to keep track of all those videos, you can work with a publisher or a third-party monetization service. Songtrust has a YouTube monitor that we will be showing you shortly, which is a great way to keep track of any videos that are using your compositions. We're actually now going to pop in a pre-recorded sneak peek video of our YouTube monitor, and Julia will give a quick overview. Sorry everyone about that. We had a quick technical difficulty, but we're gonna pop in the video from the beginning so that you could see the full explanation and nobody misses out on that. Bear with us, everyone. We are working on it. Okay, so unfortunately, we realized that we can't play the video and have Julia talk at the same time. So we are going to provide you with the full video that already has Julia's voiceover speaking over it after, and we'll just, keep going with the rest of the webinar.
So I'll give you a quick rundown of what the YouTube monitor is anyway, and then you can watch the demo video after the webinar is over. Essentially, when you use Songtrust for YouTube monetization, we're delivering all of your content to YouTube and claiming and monetizing any videos that are using your content. What the YouTube monitor is intended to do is be a supplementary tool to that monetization and identify other content on YouTube that maybe Content ID does not catch automatically. So the tool will present you with a queue of potential videos to claim, and our system finds those videos based on search terms. So the titles of your songs, the artists on your songs, all of that will be searched in YouTube's system to find videos that might be using your music. You can also add search terms yourself. Great terms to add are cover or live or acoustic, names of venues that you've performed at that people might have posted videos from your shows. Anything like that would help find videos that might be using your music. And then you can review all of these videos that our system has brought in and decide which are appropriate to claim. And the more you use this tool, the smarter it gets and the more relevant results it'll bring in. And you can also use the tool to submit individual video links to us. So if you are aware of videos on YouTube that are using your music, you can send us those links directly in your YouTube monitor and we'll get those claimed and monetized on your behalf. And like I said, this is a supplementary tool to help maximize your royalty collection on YouTube. But even if you don't use it, and you are using Songtrust for YouTube monetization, we're still delivering all of your content and making claims in YouTube's content management system.
And like I said, we will be providing you with the link to watch our YouTube monitor demo, since that didn't work out. But let's do another poll that you'll see pop up in your chat box. This time, what is your publishing situation? And as you're interacting with that, let's just start talking about how Songtrust fits into this puzzle. We are a global publishing administrator whose goal is to make the process of collecting your composition royalties as seamless as possible. All you have to do is enter your song's information once through your Songtrust account, and we accurately deliver that to all of the PROs and CMOs that we are affiliated with. This is over 40 performance and mechanical societies around the world, and it's just a really good way to plug up all the holes that just being with your PRO leaves out. We enable over 150,000 songwriters and 20,000 publishers to collect global publishing royalties for over 1 million copyrights in our system currently. Here's the diagram that compares our Songtrust terms to a traditional publishing deal's terms. For some of you that are really have your heart set on getting a traditional publishing deal in the future, there's no reason that you shouldn't be collecting your royalties in the meantime and having them disappear into the black box. So just some highlights from this are that we only have a 1-year mandatory term and you can cancel anytime after that. You're able to keep 100% of your copyright and control your sync rights. We take a small 15% operational fee from any royalties that are coming through our system. And that is only the publisher's share. You would receive your writer's share directly from your PRO. We have a flat fee, which is $100 per writer. And that's just a one-time fee for your initial sign up. And going forward, there would only be that 15% operational fee. And as a thank you for joining today's session, we'd like to offer you a 20% discount on that one-time registration fee. You should see an offer pop up in the chat box. All you have to do is click on the button and the code will be applied on the sign-up page already. This offer will be available until the end of today's session. And now we're going to get started on our Q&A. So I know a lot of you have been asking questions throughout, and we also have a lot of frequently asked questions about our YouTube monitor that I'll be asking our YouTube specialist. Okay, first we have, how does YouTube know when music is being played?
So that all goes back to Content ID. I'll try and explain it in a little more detail. Essentially, in the ideal situation, a distributor or a label will deliver their ownership metadata, but also an audio file of the actual sound recording to YouTube Content ID. And then that audio file is fingerprinted by YouTube system, and that fingerprint is scanned against every video that's ever been uploaded or ever will be uploaded to YouTube. And if it finds a match, it will place a claim on that video. And so that's on the sound recording side. Publishers then go in and deliver their metadata along with an ISRC, which will match the ISRC delivered by the label or distributor. And so any claim made on that sound recording will also be made on behalf of the composition. And so all of those claims are made automatically in Content ID system. And there's also the opportunity to make manual claims. So the YouTube monitor that we have at Songtrust is a great tool to help find additional videos that are using your compositions and not just sound recordings. And we can also search for those manually and make claims on those as well.
Will I get paid for views that happened in the past?
So like I mentioned earlier, unless an ad is served on a video, the video is not being monetized. So in the case where a video has never been monetized before, it's never had an advertisement served on it, no, you'll not get paid for any views that happened up until the point when an ad is served. In the case that a video has been being monetized, but perhaps didn't have full ownership. So let's say you distributed your music, your distributor delivered your audio files to YouTube, ads were served on any videos that Content ID found and matched, but maybe you haven't signed up for Songtrust yet. Once you do sign up for Songtrust and we deliver your metadata, we can collect what's called back pay on views that had already been being monetized. So that's in the case where an ad was on the video, but YouTube didn't know who to pay for the composition component. In that case, you would get paid for views that had previously occurred as long as an ad was served during that time.
Okay, if I do not use the YouTube monitor, but I'm signed up for Songtrust, is Songtrust not claiming any videos on YouTube?
No, we are claiming. Like I mentioned, the YouTube Monitor is a supplementary tool. It's a great tool, and we encourage our clients to utilize it. But once you've opted into YouTube on the Songtrust site, we are delivering and monetizing as much of your content as possible on YouTube.
We got another question about how we are able to monetize videos. Just to be clear, if the video does not meet the requirements that Julia spoke about earlier, which you will be able to look back on in the replay and by downloading the slides, then that video cannot be monetized. Whether it's us or another ad rev service, it can't be monetized without those requirements.
Right. We can make claims on those videos, but an ad will not be served until the video meets those requirements, which means that it won't be generating any royalties.
Okay, some general questions that we're getting about the Songtrust membership, about how long after you signed up for Songtrust does your membership last, and it will last until you decide to cancel it. And we will continue collecting royalties on your behalf until you notify us otherwise. Another one, when registering songs with our PRO, so like ASCAP or BMI, would Songtrust be listed as the publishing company?
Yes, Songtrust will be listed as the publishing company. If you have your own publishing entity, like a personal publishing entity, as long as you add that into your Songtrust account, which you absolutely should, that publishing entity will be listed as well. Every PRO looks a little bit different in their repertoire. So for example, at ASCAP, if you have your own publishing entity, you'll see that name on the PRO rep search with Songtrust's contact information, whereas at BMI, you'll see both the name of Songtrust's publishing entity and your own. But just to clarify, Songtrust still does not own any part of your copyright. We're just collecting the publisher share on your behalf, paying it all out to you minus our 15%.
Does YouTube only pay out for songs in the form of ad revenue? Is there revenue for just someone streaming the song itself, even if that user doesn't meet the ad requirements?
No, the only royalties generated on YouTube are from advertisements.
Does Songtrust work with Sound Exchange to collect royalties?
No, we do not. Sound Exchange collects digital royalties generated on the master side. So if you own your masters and you are an artist, we highly recommend that you do also sign up for Sound Exchange. But that is collecting royalties on the master side and not the composition. So it's completely separate from what Songtrust is collecting.
All right, let's get some more questions in here. Do you collect the publishing share from ad revenue?
Yes, so the ad revenue that is generated on YouTube, we mentioned earlier in the slides, there's a little diagram that shows the visual, audio, and composition components of a video on YouTube, and the composition component is broken down into performance and mechanical royalties. On the performance side, the PROs are collecting all of the performance royalties from YouTube. They'll pay the publisher share out to Songtrust and the writer share out to you. And then the mechanical royalty is collected directly by Songtrust from YouTube. So YouTube will pay us those mechanical royalties directly and we'll pay them out to you.
All right, let's do our last question. Will I get paid for views in every country on YouTube?
That is a really interesting question, and I actually forgot to mention before. So videos generate royalties with ad revenue, but that ad revenue, there's no set rate. There's no per stream rate on YouTube. That'll change depending on a lot of different factors. So one of those factors is territory. There are certain territories where YouTube is not monetized at all. There are some territories where the rates for a YouTube view is higher than in other territories. So what you get paid will depend on where your video was viewed. And a few other factors that it will depend on is the time of year your video was viewed, how long the video was viewed, what type of ad was served on the video. So if you're watching YouTube, you might see sometimes there's an ad that you're able to skip. Sometimes there's an ad you're not able to skip. Sometimes it plays before or during the video. Sometimes it's just an advertisement underneath, like a banner ad. All of those things will factor into what the rate for that view is.
Okay, I know we said that was our last question, but we just got another really good question. So does Songtrust collect on YouTube Music for streams?
Yes, and YouTube Music is separate from YouTube.com in that it's a subscription service and all of the views are monetized.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining. Don't forget to follow us on socials at Songtrust and subscribe to our newsletter.